Well, hey guys, I'd like to welcome you to Flip Genius, and my name is Greg Green, and you've seen some of our story at Quindale High School in developing the Flip School. After the pandemic, most of us in education feel like the light has been dimming, and it feels like our systems are a little bit disjointed. We feel like there needs to be some sort of change, but we're not sure what that change may be. And so we really want to get back to the light being on for us and instilling the passion and brightening our spirits and bringing the passion back to the classroom experience. And that's why we introduced the Flip Classroom to you. Now, one of the things that we realized in our school is that we're a lecture-based school, prior to flipping, and students did homework at home. Oftentimes, there was a lot of frustration that in the classroom and also for students. I mean, students were actually being asked to do work in an environment that's not set up necessarily to do the homework that's expected of them. So if they were doing, let's say 20 math problems and they were stuck and they couldn't get any help, then they pretty much shut down. And so what we began to realize is that, in order to be successful as a student, you really need a trained expert. You need a safe space, and you need basic needs that are being met. You need resources that go along with learning, right? So you can have all the resources you want, but if you don't have a calculator, then it becomes very difficult sometimes to do advanced math. So the technology has to align sometimes, and the resources have to align to actually what we're doing. And then also the necessary supports, and we see that after COVID about the emotional supports that students actually need. And so I think that's why, when you start to see the trends and what people are talking about as far as how schools should be designed, in order to use the resources that we already have, but also to provide that necessary support for students while they're actually going through the learning process. I think homes are actually naturally built for the review process. We have comfortable chairs, we have comfortable, areas in which we sit and discuss and share stories and stuff as a family. So we're always reviewing information. We have radios, we have televisions. Some of us have the internet's available and we have access to it, most of the time. And we have personal devices, things like cell phones. You can't see it here, but cell phones and so forth that you can use to pull up the information as well. So homes are naturally designed to review information and to do some base stuff. Just some basic things to get ready to actually practice. And when we look at our work environment, we have the same type of environment. Work is designed to actually produce things, to actually work at attaining our goal. So whether or not you're welding, you're a welder, or you're a miner, or what have you, you don't necessarily have that equipment at home. You might have to use that equipment in a work setting. And so the same thing for school. We want to do school at school. And what we found that what that did is it guaranteed that all students could partake in the learning process. Because what we found in our school is that not all the kids had the same type of home environment that could support the learning process. So we couldn't guarantee that every student had the opportunity, as we talk about, had the opportunity to partake in their education. And so by simply reversing our end processes where we actually did homework and where we actually reviewed information, we had a huge effect on, just engaging all students in the learning process, guaranteeing that all students have the opportunity to have success. And because our design didn't naturally discriminate or push students away, because we included everybody in the equation. And that's what the Flip Classroom actually did. And because of that, it turned our light back on. It brightened our spirits in our school. It revamped everything that we did. And actually, because we were doing something very unique and special within our school, And because we're willing to try things, we brought others to the table too. And we have an extensive network of innovators and people around the world that are best intended to actually help schools and help teachers and students. And so not only did it transform us and transform our students, but transform our community, transformed our, many of us personally because of our, how we feel about education. And so the light really turned back on. And so we encourage you to turn your light back on as well. And I think that, you'll have much success in this model. And I think that, we just have to begin at a simple point and advance slowly and surely in order to get you to a point where we were as a school. All right. I look forward to working with you. Thanks.